Hey there, YouTubers. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to install the new Celeron G5900. This is 10th gen LGA 1200 socket. We have, I kind of think this is a joke, but we have a mini ITX motherboard in here. A lot of times I'll do these outside of the cases, but in this case, I did it inside the case. So just a little variation. But things we're looking for, okay, is on the motherboard in this corner. Hopefully you'll see some markings so you can line up your CPU. The CPU in this corner has a little triangle, and you can see on the plastic cover that it's there. If you lose your plastic cover, in this case, hopefully it is marked on the motherboard itself, and it's usually denoted by a little round dot. So why a round dot in a triangle? I don't know, but that's how you do it. The other way to look at it is the orientation of the text here. A lot of times will match the orientation, or it should match pretty much in every situation, the text on the plastic CPU cover. All right, so don't have to take the cover off because it's going to pop off on its own. And you want to hold on to this, so put that in your motherboard box. So here is the brand new 10th gen Celeron. I know you must be super excited to be watching this video, and you must be considering buying one. And therefore, that's how you ended up on this channel. Okay, so triangle there and a little circle, and I like to gently move these left and right. Make sure it's seated, it's not moving, because once you drop this down, and we've got to make sure we rock this back that it fits under the fastener. Once you move this forward, you could do damage to your CPU if it's not seated right. So boom, that came off. Sometimes they really come off. In this case, they didn't. So now let's grab our CPU fan. So Intel supplies this relatively cheap CPU fan, probably the cheapest CPU cooler you can get. It'll do the trick for this. Not necessarily that good for a high-performing i5, i7, i9, but if you can't afford another CPU cooler, I guess you'll have to do this. So we've got to get this cable out of here. Probably easier to do it outside of the case before we put it in there. And orientation wise, basically you want to look for where your CPU connector is going to go, and make sure that you're not going to have any issues with the cable reach. In this case, I'm probably going to have to take my CPU fan out, because lo and behold, there it is back there. So there's another reason why a lot of times it's easier to install your CPU and your fan outside of the case, in case you have a case fan that gets in the way. I'll take care of that though, and we will get back on schedule. Alright, so we've removed the case fan, and we were ready to get back on track. Now I do have another video out there where I install this with outside of the case, and that is definitely the recommended way to do it. So I won't be able to do this on the video. We're going to take this connector and connect it down here, and I'm going to just sit it on top of here until I connect it. So sometimes we can get all the angles. Sometimes I have to ship you guys. And this is an interesting little motherboard. I'm a full ATX kind of guy. I don't like the smaller boards, but this has everything you could ever want. Okay, so that's connected. I could have did this after the fact, but I wanted to get it out of the way. Now we want to line these holes up, and another reason for doing that is just to ensure that the cable will indeed reach. Later I will probably figure out a way to get this out of the way. You do not want these little wires to hit your CPU fan. They will stop the CPU fan. Next thing you know, your computer will be rebooting, or it'll shut off. So we are ready to go ahead and put these in. Now, the little plastic doodads, you want to make sure that they're obviously centered over the holes, all 4 of them, okay? And then this little gap this little gap here that you could put a flathead in, and you will possibly later on when you remove these, you want to make sure they're all pointed in or 90 degrees to the circle of the fan, or the radius of the fan. So once you've done that, you're just going to press, you'll hear a snap, and best to go across, do the other one, then come back and do the rest of these, and boom, they've all snapped in. So if I were to flip this over, you would see plastic protruding out, and we'll do that. All right, so there you go. There is the little white plastic, and as you push those in, this little plastic protrusion pops in there, and the white separates and makes it wider than the hole that it's sitting in. And you want to make sure all 4 of them are good. In this case, they are. As these fans get older, they will not work so great, the plastic parts, and you probably will want to buy a new fan if you keep changing them out, that is. This will last a long time, but if you're like me and you change them out all the time, that's one of the issues with these. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.